July 30th, 2015, interview with Shaun Evans. Shaun,
Yes.
how long ago did you move to San Francisco?
6 weeks ago,
Why did you move to San Francisco?
to escape an ex who was abusive and drug addict.
What advice would you have for anyone moving to the city of San Francisco?
Come prepared.
What do you mean?
I thought I was prepared, and my bag was stolen, so my wallet was stolen, and every establishment in here requires an ID. No ID, no stay. So I became homeless and stayed from shelter to shelter in different parts of the city. Sometimes I don't get a bed at night, but I am on a wait list for a 90-day bed. I'm number 400 out of like 700, so it's a long wait.
How many homeless shelters does San Francisco have?
About, for men and LGBT, there is about 8.
And out of those 8 homeless shelters in San Francisco, how many would you say are safe?
3.
With the 3 safe homeless shelters, are they in close proximity or are they in different areas of the city?
Different areas of the city.
The 3 safe homeless shelters, are they ran by churches or communities, volunteers, or who runs them?
Churches run them.
Churches? Do you know which churches?
The safe ones are the Episcopalian
Mm-hmm.
safe ones.
And out of those 5 unsafe homeless shelters, who works at them?
Still, churches run them, and it's not so much the people that work there, it's the people that stay there that make it.
Out of the people who stay there who are unsafe, what types of things do they do to make the stay uncomfortable and unsafe?
They can either steal from you, or they will. I've seen people get beat up for no reason.
Would you say gay men are a particular target, or would you say it's all across the board?
All across the board.
Are gays and transgenders and lesbians and bisexuals, do they tend to be more alienated within the homeless shelters themselves, or are they pretty much equal to everyone else?
Alienated.
How so? Can you elaborate on that?
It's just a whole different world. It's like you got nothing coming. It's the only way I could explain it.
In terms of family history, do you have any brothers or sisters?
I have one brother.
Where does your brother live?
Somewhere in Arizona.
Do you remember the last time you spoke with them?
I don't.
And what about your parents?
They're both deceased.
If you don't mind me asking, how did your parents become deceased?
Father passed away, I believe, from faulty pacemaker, and my mother died of natural causes. From her natural causes.
Do you know how old your mom was when she passed?
In her mid-50s.
And if you wouldn't mind telling the viewer your story of how you came into being in solitary confinement for 7 years. If you don't mind.
Oh, I mean, as a staycation courtesy of the state of Arizona,
Mm-hmm.
I'll pass on that one.
Okay, that's fine. And what would you say is the worst stereotype that tourists and basically the general public tend to have of homeless people?
That we are all unstable, one way or another.
And when you mean unstable, can you elaborate more on that?
We're not all drunks. We're not all crackheads. Granted, I'm a recovering addict, but recovering is a key word.
Do the churches and the homeless shelters offer rehab facilities and addiction classes like Narcotics Anonymous and other support groups, or are those kind of like...
It's the city offers it, regardless if you can pay or not.
Has the city been able to offer you any services to overcome addiction at all?
If I was addicted, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But I go to...
What about friends of yours? Do they seek support groups or services that the city of San Francisco offers?
Some of them do.
For the ones that don't, the ones that may tend to play into the stereotype, such as the lady screaming because, she's addicted to crack or whatever drug that she's addicted to, what would you have to say to the general public to kind of get them to empathize or, kind of feel their pain or at least understand it? Like, is there anything you can say to the general public to kind of have them understand how people become, so?
Addiction happens to everybody, whether it's food, drugs, sex, cars, shopping, money, gossip. Everybody's addicted to something. Some addictions are worse than others.
And one last bit of advice. Next time someone's walking on the street and sees someone homeless, do you have any advice for them?
Just remember, we're not all the same. A lot of homeless people are crazy and do bad things, but not all of us are like that. So use your gut. If someone asks for help, or somebody looks down, take your headphones out of your ears and just acknowledge and say hello. You'd be surprised what difference that can make, and it can happen to anybody.
Okay, and would you like to tell the public, because obviously, you don't look like typical, homeless individual. Would you like to tell them about the job you recently got?
Yes, working for the city, working for the mentally unstable that are addicts. And
What would be your main responsibility? Will you be teaching them how to feel good about themselves, or will you be getting them jobs, or what would you be doing?
just making sure they're safe.
So you'll be placing them in shelters for the night?
No, it's just making sure that they're taking their medicine. If not, then go through the proper channels throughout the county and the city of San Francisco.
Well, thank you for your time, Shaun Evans. And do you have any final last words?
Can't judge a book by its cover, because you never know. It could happen to you. It could happen to me again. It could happen to your mom, dad, brother, or sister.
Well, thank you. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.